Medina from SamMedina.com. We take your vision to the next level. Today we're going to be discussing what I call the hot cold call. How to intrigue, engage, and inspire in any first contact situation. Now, some people will say cold calling is dead and it's not necessary anymore, but unless you're selling something that involves absolutely no human contact whatsoever, there's going to come a time when you're going to either have to pick up the phone, send an email, or meet in person for the first time. That having been said, there is a certain degree of coldness involved, even when it's a referral. If the person doesn't know you from Adam, you've got to make a first impression, you've got to build rapport, you have to make a connection in order to get that chance to get your message across. You miss out on the rapport, you never even get to make your presentation. Now, one of the mistakes that a lot of people make in first contact situations is we try to immediately basically shove our sales pitch down their throat, and that's a huge mistake, especially nowadays. Customers are more demanding, they want to be educated, they want to be treated like they're important, because they are important. Without your customers, you have nothing. You have the greatest product, the greatest service, you have no customers, you have no business. Now, considering that, what I'd like to share with you today is an easy way to build rapport once you actually reached a decision maker. You've built rapport with the gatekeeper, you got past the gatekeeper, now you've got the decision maker on the phone. How do you immediately get your attention and separate yourself from all the other dozens of salespeople who might have called that day? Very simple, and it's going to seem almost too simple, almost too obvious. As soon as they pick up the phone and I greet them, they greet me back, I ask them, for example, I'll say, "Bob, is this a good time?" And a lot of times there's a pause, because when they know it's a sales call, usually the salesperson, most salespeople will just try to bowl their way past anything that's being said and try to get that sales pitch out. And a lot of times, because that's so unexpected, because so many of your competitors are doing the opposite and just trying to shove their sales pitch down somebody's throat, the decision maker will pause for a moment and then he'll answer you. He'll say, "No, it's not a good time." And most of the time what I've actually had happen is we end up setting up a time to speak in further detail. And a lot of times we actually end up talking in a little bit of detail at that time, simply because I showed him that I respected his time, valued his time, that I recognize that he is busy and has other things that he needs to do in running his business besides talking to me. And because of that little bit of consideration, they're usually, not always, sometimes they'll be rude, sometimes they'll be nasty. That's okay, you just got to move on. That's not a good prospect perhaps, or maybe he's just having a bad day. But if you try that, ask them if it's a good time, you're going to see that very often the person who would have been turned off by a sales pitch is suddenly going to be more willing to listen to what you have to say, and perhaps even to set aside time to hear you out. I hope this was helpful. Thanks for watching. I'm Sam Medina from SamMedina.com.